Alan Greenspan, The Age of Turbulence, Adventures in a New World. Get ready to dive into the intriguing life and career of Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve Board and one of the foremost economists of the 20th century. In The Age of Turbulence, Adventures in a New World, Greenspan candidly shares his unconventional journey from an average student who turned to music before embracing economics, to a groundbreaking economist whose work influenced the U.S. and global financial landscapes. Here, you will explore some of his key contributions to the field and his experiences with notable political figures. Reflecting on world affairs and the future of economics, this summary highlights the genuinely captivating message conveyed by Greenspan in his book.
The life and career of Alan Greenspan. Alan Greenspan's early life and interests, including his love for economics, led to a successful career as a musician and economist. After pursuing degrees in finance and economics, Greenspan's passion for numbers landed him in the up-and-coming field of econometrics, where he excelled in financial forecasting and economic models. Alan Greenspan's humble beginnings started in Manhattan in 1926. Raised by his divorced mother in a lower-middle-class Jewish family, Greenspan found solace in memorizing train schedules, baseball statistics, and telegraph codes as a child. During the Great Depression, he scoured Queens beaches for coins, which led to his lifelong habit of walking with his eyes cast down. Economics piqued Greenspan's interest early on, fascinated by supply and demand curves, market equilibrium, and evolution of international trade. Although a mediocre student, he excelled in mathematics and studied music at the Juilliard School alongside saxophonist Stan Getz. His passion for numbers never left him, enrolling in New York University to pursue degrees in finance and economics. After college, Greenspan landed a job in econometrics, where his talents were in high demand. With the increasing need for financial forecasting and economic models by major companies, Greenspan's expert insights into the data earned him much respect in the field. Greenspan's life shows the inherent conflict that economists face. As their focus is on the long-term prosperity, politicians operate with a short-term focus, heavily influenced by their constituents' immediate needs. Greenspan's career and influences. Alan Greenspan's contributions to research projects for manufacturers and government agencies, his founding of Townsend Greenspan, and his involvement with Ayn Rand's ideas, which shaped his views on individual achievement and laissez-faire capitalism. He also describes the Fed's role during a stock market panic, which is to prevent financial paralysis and keep the economy running smoothly. Greenspan ended his first marriage and was a close friend of Ayn Rand until her death in 1982. Greenspan, The Economist and the Presidency. Alan Greenspan volunteers as an advisor to Richard Nixon's presidential campaign in 1967. He believed Nixon as thoughtful and intense, but turned down a position in his administration due to his profanity-ridden rants. Greenspan was appointed to chair the Council of Economic Advisers under Ford's administration in 1974. Greenspan used his knowledge of economic modeling and network of contacts to improve national metrics in order to predict outcomes and advise Ford regarding economic action. He disagreed with both Nixon and Ford about their wage and price controls to tackle crippling inflation. In the late 90s, he remarked on the strength of the economy being temporary. Greenspan, through multiple presidential administrations. Alan Greenspan was a renowned economist who navigated the changing political environment of the U.S. through numerous presidential administrations. He started his career as an economic consultant before joining Gerald Ford's administration. Greenspan then returned to the private sector, where he sat on corporate boards and even dated journalist Barbara Walters. When Ronald Reagan became president, he asked Greenspan to lead the effort to shore up Social Security. Greenspan succeeded Paul Volcker as chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve Board. His first real test came when the market fell 508 points in a single day in 1987. Greenspan scrambled to soothe nervous banks and investors while also stabilizing the economy. During George H.W. Bush's administration, Greenspan advised him to address the growing deficits and mounting debt before it was too late. But Bush resisted cutting spending or raising revenue, and he blamed Greenspan for his loss to Bill Clinton. Despite this, Greenspan continued to serve the U.S. and its economy with integrity. Greenspan's tightrope walk. Alan Greenspan, former head of the Federal Reserve, shares his experiences and insights in The Age of Turbulence. He discusses his time working with Presidents Clinton, Bush, and Reagan, and his role in navigating the U.S. economy through various crises. Despite challenges such as the dot-com boom and bust, Greenspan's dedication to managing government spending and avoiding chronic surpluses or deficits often clashed with political pressures. He details his struggles to keep the economy steady and warns of the dangers of unchecked spending. Economic growth and the future of capitalism. Alan Greenspan, former chairman of the Federal Reserve, shares his insights on the components of economic growth, the different modes of capitalism, and the challenges facing various nations. In an era of globalization and technological advancement, Greenspan believes that competitiveness of marketplaces, strong legal and property rights, and high-quality policy makers are the essential ingredients for economic prosperity. He also emphasizes the importance of individual integrity in a capitalist system, arguing that it cannot be substituted by government regulation. Greenspan discusses how nations must balance the creation of material wealth with social services, and how each country needs to make its own decision on what forms of capitalism work best. He highlights China's challenge of aligning their political system with free market principles, and the rise of the Asian tigers as examples of unique market reforms tailored to specific circumstances. Greenspan discusses Russia's need to shift its economy away from reliance on natural resources to avoid the Dutch disease, which can make the rest of an economy uncompetitive. He also touches on the challenges that countries in Latin America face due to economic populism, and the role of globalization in exacerbating income inequality. As wealth becomes concentrated in fewer hands and good-paying manufacturing jobs disappear, Greenspan stresses the importance of education reform and prudent immigration policies that can prepare people for new positions by teaching them new skills. The world also faces new challenges due to falling birth rates and an aging population that will put pressure on social programs. Greenspan emphasizes the need for better energy policies that allow the market to dictate options rather than imposing government-imposed rules, such as a gasoline tax to reduce the U.S.'s reliance on petroleum and vulnerability to events in the oil-producing Middle East. Throughout his book, Greenspan makes a compelling case for the future of capitalism and the importance of constantly revisiting market practices and regulation to ensure that they remain relevant.
Alan Greenspan's The Age of Turbulence, Adventures in a New World has taken us on an educational odyssey through his life, insights into politics, and reflections on global economics. Over the course of this summary, we've gained a deeper understanding of topics like capitalism, education and income inequality, corporate governance, and the long-term energy squeeze. By shedding light on economic theories and practices, as well as offering guidance for the future, Greenspan makes The Age of Turbulence a compelling exploration of the economic and political landscape for years to come. Don't miss the chance to learn from one of the most respected and knowledgeable figures in modern economics.